Hello and welcome back to Coffee Talk. I figured out a way to where I can start on the newspaper. It actually had the day up before this, but I guess I clicked through that by accident. But this is gonna help a little bit with remembering what day it is and what night it is, I guess. I think I already read all this in the last one, but I'll read it again. Military personnel stationed along East Coast to prevent immigrants flooding in from the Atlantic. Werewolf's representatives push the ministry for more accessible sedatives. And doctor from Town arrested for experimenting with child cloning. Start the day. Or night. Shouldn't it be night? Oh well. Are you sure that would be okay? What are we talking about here? Yes. I mean, it would be really hard to pull off, but it's something that'll make the story different. Different isn't always good. That's true. It's a neat concept, but you need to handle it carefully and gracefully. I know. New customer, it's Gala. Hey, Gala. Good evening, everyone. Welcome, Mr. Gala. Am I interrupting? You look like you're having an intense discussion. It's nothing. Melvin was just giving me some feedback. It's for a book I'm writing. Sounds like a heavy discussion. What are you up to tonight? I'm just planning to sit and relax. Please don't let my presence interrupt you. So he's gonna sit off to the side while we have a conversation, just sitting there sipping his drink and playing with his phone. I guess that's atmosphere? Oh, don't worry about it. Although I need to interrupt Melvin for a moment. Sure, how can I help you? Gonna have a cup of... You remember my remedy? Of course. Do you want to give it another try? My last order might have been the right drink, but let's give it a try again, just to be sure. Okay. Remember, it has tea and ginger. I don't remember. Can I look it up? Tea and ginger. Oh, I forgot about the... Oh no, there's no story? Brewpad. How do I look it up? Galahad? That has tea, milk, and ginger, so that must be it, right? I didn't do the story of the day. So I'll do it now. Day was hot, sunny, and humid, just like most days in Jakarta. Jakarta. I was standing inside a crowded bus, neither well-functioning air conditioning nor proper ventilation, trying to keep myself productive in the uncomfortable environment by reading my recently bought copy of Maruki Harakami, The Elephant Vanishes, while listening to a random playlist on my iPod. Despite the hellish conditions, you could say I was luckier than most because I was standing near the rear of the door of the bus, leaning my back on the side of the seat, safe enough not to fall out of the bus, breezy enough to breathe freely. As mentioned, I was on a public bus in Jakarta, so naturally I needed to be wary of my surroundings, mostly keeping my belongings secure from pickpockets and other human pests. I glanced around the bus several times between pages, and that was when I saw her. It's hard to describe her. She has no specific characteristic to differentiate her from other women. She was like the perfect example of the girl you walk past unseen on the sidewalk every day. A girl, excuse me, you might glance at for a second, then a few steps later it would be hard to even remember her hair color, never mind what her eyes, her nose, and mouth looked like. She was standing near the front door of the bus, not leaning on anything or anyone, not touching the bacteria-infested hand grip on the ceiling of the bus. Although, to be fair, it might have been hard for her to reach that grip anyways. But still, she stood there with a perfect balance of a tree rooted in its healthy soil. Healthy soil, that's good writing right there. Richest soil, drenched. It reminds me of a lyric from a band I like, which is richest soil drenched with the freshest rain. It's nice touch. Anyways, she stood as if somebody has silently put the Venus de Milo on the bus, and I'm not sure if I said that correctly or not. I'm not sure how you say that. It looks like Venus. Is it Venus? And she somehow fit perfectly without anyone noticing it happening. She was wearing a pair of earphones, wired, just like headphones were supposed to be, and a slight smile across her face. Sometimes she closed her eyes for a few moments, enjoying the music and only she could hear. Her eyes rarely stayed in one place. They kept wandering around the bus, not too fast like someone anxious, not too slow like someone looking at something specific. Maybe she's the one, I thought. This isn't the first time a thought like that has crossed my mind. As a hopeless romantic, seeing any woman who piques my interest will immediately trigger a story in my imaginations. A story of how I'll approach them, get to know them, with the proviso that they're just as, I don't know what that means, just as I imagine them to be. Start dating, get married, have kids, grow old in our home, so on and so on. Geez, all that in just a moment of just catching a glimpse of her. Seemed a little fast. Random cuties, that's what I call them. Unicorns among horses. The term doesn't apply to any cute girls I see, of course. It has become someone special, or at least someone I imagine to be special. The thing is, automatically imagining those stories whenever I happen across a random cutie isn't healthy. It puts a toll on my mind and, of course, my heart. It creates a lot of unhealthy expectations before opportunities arise. Yeah, you could say that. Oh shit. She looked at me. We made eye contact for a big flash of seconds. I immediately returned to my book. Did she notice me staring at her? Did she see what I was thinking? My mind won't stop spinning, overthinking, while my pulse beats double time in my ears. I continue staring at my book. With what just happened, I obviously can't read it properly. My eyes were looking at the words, but nothing was being processed other than thoughts of her. I glanced back at her, and she was staring at me. Eye contact more than once. It means something. Should I approach her and introduce myself? Yes, I should. What if things go wrong? What's the worst that could happen if we introduce ourselves? First, it's a crowded bus, and moving from the rear door to the front will definitely annoy some people. Second, what if after we approach her, she becomes annoyed and... Oh, come on. You're overthinking as usual. Nothing bad will ever happen even if she gets annoyed. Don't dismiss me. Nothing bad will happen. Well... She might scream and say I'm a pervert, and then the whole bus will beat me to death. Jeez. It's a little extreme. Oh, and what's the worst option? What if we introduce ourselves and then it turns out she's not like what we imagined? We imagined her? What do you mean we? Is he talking to himself? I mean, I get that he's talking to himself, but is he including himself like in the... himself twice, I guess? Like his thought process and him. I don't know. It's really weird they said we there. All that time and energy will be wasted, exchanged for years of agony. Oh, for Everything will be fine. Don't worry so much. No matter what happens second, we still have to try something first. That's like a very good quote. I would very much like to keep that in my mind. We still have to try something first. Oh, no matter what happens second, yeah. Try to remember that. Write it down later or something. That's a good quote. No, there's too much at risk. The bait is still raging inside my head, and that's when it happens. We make eye contact again, but this time it lasts longer than a few seconds, and then she smiled at me. Just a small curve on those perfectly average, beautiful lips. Quickly returned to my book. See, you have to do something. But remember the girl with the violin we saw on the train to I'm gonna butcher this. Yogyakarta a few years ago? Of course I remember. Exactly, she was just a random person that sat across from me on the train. We didn't remember what month it was, and yet we still remember the maroon coat she was wearing, the violin case she put in the overhead compartment, her reddish hair in the pixie cut, her... Stop it, that was different. And we might have saved ourselves, and we again, a lot of embarrassment by not talking to her. The thoughts, the noises, the internal dialogue, it won't stop. I was sweating, but not because of the heat. A cold sweat. This had to stop. Stop! I screamed internally. Everything stopped, and just in time, my old iPod randomly shuffled to Explosions in Spaces. The only moment we were alone. I cranked up the volume, put my book in my bag, and just breathed. Yes, I might lose the chance to meet the one by doing this, but at least as long as I don't know her, she's perfect. As far as... That's an interesting way of putting it, I guess, but really not healthy for social instances. As far as I know, she might be listening to Explosions in Space. As far as I know, she might be a big fan of Harakami and Final Dreams 9, whatever that is. As far as I know, she might be single. As far as I know, she might be the 100% perfect match for me that I believe can't exist if my knowledge of her goes any farther than what I know right now. Besides, as the old saying goes, if it's meant to be, it will be. The bus stopped in front of Plaza Senaya. My destination. It was time for me to go. I decided not to look in her direction as I left, knowing that if I looked at her, it would be the last time I ever saw her. That's too hard for a hopeless romantic like me. I left the bus and enjoyed the warm sun, breeze, and fresh air. Finally got out of that metal Schrodinger's box. That's what happened. That's when it happened. I turned my head to the right, and there she was, standing alone, enjoying the breeze. Now she was free of the roasting metal box we humans named bus. She turned her head to the left, showing me a glimmer of surprise at seeing me standing there. After that, she smiled. So if it's meant to be, it will be. Only if you get up the courage to actually talk to her. I forgot what the drink was that I was supposed to make. Okay, tea, milk, ginger. Oh, you can keep it up while you do this too. So there are no mistakes. Galahad, serve it up. Judging from the smell, this looks like it. Indeed. I have the same feeling. I've made a note of it, that mixture. It's a good thing I have a note of that too, because I would not have remembered that. Even with what he said, the 2 ingredients that he said. Perfect. Anyway, please don't mind me and continue with your discussion. Don't worry, Miss Agala, we're done for the night. You're done. I have a lot of new homework thanks to you. You're welcome. Is Hyde coming? No, I'm by myself tonight. It's gonna be a peaceful night then. Ha ha ha. That's mean, Freya. Oh, come on, I was just joking. He needs to learn how to communicate his thoughts nicely, though. He might not look like it, but he's a very kind person, yo. He doesn't show it, that's for sure. That applies to you as well. Ooh, burn. Ah, come on. A third party has entered. Oh, it's that guy. Bailey's, yeah, that's right. The alcohol guy. Wow. It's been a while. Been a hot minute since I've done his voice. So I'm just gonna probably do something that I didn't do at all before. Good evening, everyone. Welcome, Mr. Bailey's. Hiya. How are you doing, Freya? Not good. What's going on? Smelling was just criticizing my story. It's called feedback. It's cruel. It's necessary. Sounds interesting. What's the problem with the story? Story is non-linear and quite complicated. Imagine a choose-your-own-adventure storybook. That's not complicated. But for adults, sounds pretty common so far. But instead of telling you which page to turn to, each destination will make you give you a score. What? That score will determine which page you should go to. Sounds more like a video game than a book. I know, it's not that original. But my target here is a Main Street audience. Gal is looking at his phone. Huh? With the help of my publisher, this kind of book may go mainstream. Excuse me. Just like that Choose Your Own Adventure show on Netflix. I guess that's probably Netflix. I don't know if that's referring to a specific show, though, or not. I don't recognize it from the description. It was nothing new, but because of the marketing and the names evolved, I reached the mainstream market. It had reached the mainstream market. That sounds interesting. And highly ambitious for you. At least it's simpler than my other idea. Which is making the novel in the form of a book. Making the novel not in the form of a book, but in the form of story cards. What? I know, right? As if she has all the time in the world. And that's before even considering the sensitive issue of setting the story in a world where only humans exist. What did you say? No, there's a reason why it has to be that way. Just wait till I finished it, okay? Alright. As Melvin said, though, I won't have the time. Getting a normal pitch approved is already a steep climb. Let's not make the mountain even higher. Fair enough. What's the story all about, by the way? You have to wait for it. Don't want to spoil the fun. If you say so. Anyways, I haven't ordered anything. What do you want to drink tonight? Ginger latte, if you know how to make it. I probably do. Let's see. Ginger latte, so that would be... did it not... I don't know if I had the same drink, if he had the same drink last time or not. Ginger latte. Well, this is all of them. So I don't have a ginger latte. I have a tea latte. I don't know how to make it. It's gotta have coffee and ginger in it. And then milk, right? Yeah, that makes the most sense. Ginger latte. There you are, sir. Here we go. Thanks. Damn, that's good. What kind of drink make a skill? I wonder why your place isn't any bigger. What we have here now is more than enough for me. Hehe. Whatever floats your boat, I guess. By the way, how are you doing, Baileys? Still busy with your last client? Client? What did he do for a job? Does it say in here? Chill. Bailey's freelance designer. Museum and outgrow frequenter will draw a design for food and shelter. Okay. Oh, I'm done with her. Done? As if you're dropping the project? Hey, I'm not crazy. I still need the money. Done as I've finished the job. I spent the past few days making sure it's even done before the deadline. Did she like it? Oh, she loved it. She had some complaints, of course, but I convinced her by using some design terms she doesn't understand. So you bullshitting her. Hahaha. The finest bullshit, my lady. That's one survival skill every freelancer must have. Are you working on anything right now? No. I'm taking a break from work. I need to work on a few personal matters. Oh. Nothing is for me? Really? Like you and Lula? Lua? Something like that. By the way, I'm curious. How did you guys meet? If you don't mind me asking, is this for her book? She's got to write about these characters. So this is like research for her. I don't mind. It's just that I was young and stupid, you know. Oh, come on. Who hasn't been there? You're right. So, I was a bit of a player back in college. Oh, spicy. And I was going after my then best friend's girlfriend. Wait, what? Okay, I'll say it slowly. I used to have a best friend. He was an incubus. Incubus? Okay. Let's call him Cognac. Cognac, isn't Cognac a drink too? Cognac has a girlfriend. Still following? That girl has a friend. Friend is the one I'm after. Oh, okay. Got it. She was one of the hottest girls there. But everyone knew she wasn't the type of girl you'd want to date. Why? I don't want to get into the details. But this succubus was super hot. And all the guys wanted to sleep with her. She was a player too. Huh? I love her facial expressions. Never get tired of it. That doesn't sound like Lou at all. Because it wasn't Lou, a genius. Huh? Lou was my friend's girl. Holy moly. This is getting spicier. The other girl's name was... let's just call her Rose. Continue? I knew Lou thanks to her relationship with Cognac. That's a fake name you made up, right? And you've been pretty obvious about that. Yes. Now will you let me continue without interruptions? Okay. So, I asked Lula a lot of things about Rose. She knew what I was after. It annoyed her so much. But I kept on bothering her. I mean, I was pretty active guy back then. So Lua, I keep wanting to say Lula. So Lua came over to visit us at one point. I lived with Cognac back in college. I'd been out and I got back just as Lua had arrived. Total coincidence. We went to our place together and witnessed something surprising. What? Cognac was sleeping with Rose. Holy mother of moly. I'm sorry, her face just cracks me up. I saw the look on Lua's face. The disbelief, anger, sadness. And without even thinking about it, I punched Cognac in the face. You what? You what? I got into a fight with him. Oh, I haven't told you. Cognac was a Brazilian jiu-jitsu tutor for kids. That's bad. Bad idea, getting in a fight. He's pretty good. Yeah. He's a teacher, and it's gotta be at least a black belt. Or at least. Oh my. Yeah, I landed on that one punch. That's about it, huh? And he beat me to a pulp. Easily. Lua begged me to stop fighting on her behalf. Yeah, more like she begged Cognac. Hey, I wasn't kidding. I lost, but I don't get up so easily. I was beaten pretty bad. So Lua took care of my injuries. We grew closer after that. I don't even remember the exact date. But suddenly, that friendship just turned into a relationship. That was one hell of a story. Yeah, it was. I know. Have you seen her by any chance? Yeah. Lou came up a few days ago. Came by, rather. How was she doing? She doesn't return any of my calls or texts. So he's hoping to find her here, maybe? Well, she's healthy, that's for sure. She got into an argument, though. With whom? There was this male model. A model? I didn't think she was that type of girl. To go out with a model. Oh, they weren't together. What were they arguing about? Well, we were talking about your relationship. Lua told us about the reason behind the fight. About your family stuff. And then this guy Hyde joined the discussion. What did he say? He didn't understand why Lua would insist on getting family approval. Considering, you know, what? You're willing to leave your own family. You would do that for her. Yes, I would. And I'm sick and tired of my family. Why would you say that? Let me tell you about my family. Or should I say, most elven families. They all think they're so high and mighty. If you're born an elf, there are certain unwritten rules you must follow. Reputation and appearance are everything. We must never, ever make our family look bad. You can only befriend certain people. You must dress a certain way. You can only have certain jobs. Jobs that are deemed worthy and successful. Like being a doctor, a lawyer, or a CEO. You know, ever since I was a kid, I've wanted to be an artist. I love drawing and creating art. However, becoming an artist is not something else would deem suitable. Unless you become the next Da Vinci. So when I switched from a business major to an art major, my parents went crazy, screaming like they were on fire. They told me I'd never be rich or successful. All that because you chose an art degree? You want to know the worst part? They blamed Lua. What do you mean? They blamed her for my decision to pursue my passion for art. Yelled about her kind as ruining the country. Accusing their religion of worshipping the Dark Lord. Accusing her of putting a spell on me and cursing the family. Well, I mean, come on, this is the 21st century. That's so not cool. I don't want to sound judgmental, but your family is racist. Tell me about it. Lua is the only person that can make me feel alive. She showed me how I can be free and pursue my dreams. I don't understand Lua is so obsessed with the idea of reconciliation with my family. I just don't get it. I have no problem leaving my family, you know? I would happily leave them for the both of us. What about her? What about her and her family? You may be happy to leave your family. However, it may not be the same for her. Excuse me? Why are you butting in? Kala, do you have something to say? You look like you have something to say. Perhaps you could give us a different perspective. Sorry, I didn't mean to eavesdrop. I couldn't help overhearing your story. I assume that the person you're talking about is not an elf. Oh. Siri. Just turned on for some reason. Turn off. Go away. Okay, I guess it's done. Let's say it again. I assume that person you're talking about is not an elf, correct? I guess I thought assume was Siri. Oops, I probably shouldn't say that. Yes, she was a succubus. I see. I'm a werewolf. For werewolves, the wolf pack is the most important thing. We'll put family before any other. We often have our problems within the pack, but we won't abandon our family or anything for anything. Perhaps that's also true for her and her family. Besides, if you leave your family for her, wouldn't that make your parents believe that all those bad stereotypes about succubi are true? Never thought of it that way before. Whether you like it or not, your actions will have an impact on her as well. And if you leave your family for her, will put her in a difficult spot. She might feel responsible for your actions. There's nothing to feel bad about. I'm leaving my messy family to create a better one with her. It's easy for you to say that now, but you don't know what the future holds. One day, circumstances might change. One day, one of you might regret your decisions. One day, you might use the I left my family for you card. We love each other. I'll be with her, whatever the circumstances may be. You know, love is like a flame. It might burn fiercely at first, but over time it will die down if you don't maintain it. Maintaining it won't be easy. It will be hard work, because life is full of storms, and marriage, it will not survive on love alone. Wow, that's deep. We'll have each other. That's enough for us. Tell me, do you have health insurance? What? I'm an elf. Why would I need health insurance? You'll need some. For what? Immortality is an elven privilege, but you lose it if your family disowned you. Really? It's interesting. I've seen people go bankrupt because they fell ill or got seriously injured. Emptied their entire life savings for an $8 pill because in this country they charge $20,000 for it. Jesus Christ, man. And if you decide to have children, they won't have the same privileges you do. There's a high probability that they'll get bullied for being a half-breed. There are consequences. It shouldn't be taken lightly. Think about it. Anyway, I've got to go. I apologize for my intrusion. No, thank you for your insight. I've got to go too. Want to head out together? Sure. Thanks for the drinks, Melvin and Freya. Bye. Sort of lost his voice there for a minute. Two voices were a little bit too similar, I think. Kind of confused me. What? Made me lose my 2 customers in a minute. Hey, that wasn't on me. They were leaving anyway. Are you going to write that in your book? It's a secret. If your book is based on this coffee shop, how can you present a story like there's in a weird world with only humans around? I'm not sure. Perhaps a hot drink will give you some inspiration. Sounds like a great idea. Alright, end of the day. Or the night. It says day. Okay. I'm going to end it there, knowing that I can actually start the day off, start the day over again, so won't have any of that annoying stuff at the end, which is supposed to be at the beginning of the day. So, that's it for today. I will see you in the next one. Bye.